Since 1955, O'Donnell, Weiss, and Mattei Law Offices has had a proud history of support for our surrounding communities of Pottstown, Phoenixville, all areas in between and surrounding. This program highlights just one of the many not-for-profit organizations in which our attorneys and staff are currently involved. Thank you to the many people who volunteer to make our region a great place to live and to work. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to Legal Talk, the talk show brought to you by the law firm of O'Donnell, Weiss, and Mattei with offices in Pottstown and Phoenixville. You can find us on the web at owmlaw.com. My name is Joseph Koury, and I am here tonight as part of our nonprofit and community organization ongoing series of episodes. Tonight's program is featuring the Phoenixville Public Library, and with me are Lauren Coy, Director of Development, and Lara Lorenzi, our Executive Director. Thank you for joining me.
Sure, thanks for having us.
Let's talk a little bit about the Phoenixville Public Library, which is a unique library in our area for sure, in that it's a Carnegie library. Lara, why don't you tell us what that means?
Well, basically what that means is Andrew Carnegie basically said to the town, if you want a library, I'll build it for you, but you have to agree to pay for it.
Okay.
So a unique agreement came out of that between the library and the school district.
Okay.
So basically we're actually considered a component unit of the Phoenixville Area School District, and they actually own our building, and we provide all the services for the community as a public library. And they're one of our major funding sources that we have.
Certainly.
Yes.
In fact, I think they contribute the majority of our operational funding.
That's correct. That is correct.
And I guess you could say in exchange for that, they also have some representation on our library board.
They do. The superintendent of schools is on our board, as well as a board member from their school board is on our board as their liaison between the two boards. And we also have, it's actually 9 full board members, so they're 2 of the 9.
Full disclosure, I am a member of the library board. I'm also the board secretary, so if you happen upon meeting minutes, which are on the library website, I am the author, unfortunately, of those minutes. Thank you for that.
Sure.
And it has been a, I think, beneficial relationship. Would you not agree?
I would, definitely. We're able to provide public library services to children in the community who are then going on to elementary schools and high schools and middle schools at Phoenixville area. And, we provide those early literacy skills. So we're setting those children up to have a successful school career. And we're really excited that we can do that. And also we help with their parents. We provide support to them in various ways as far as literacy goes or learning. And obviously we're a public library, so we have so many different resources that they can come and get. And the school district really helps us out in a lot of different ways with our facilities and maintenance that way. We can really go to them for pretty much anything we need as far as help, and they also provide other resources for us as a library.
And another unique aspect is the library board members, other than the 2 that you mentioned, are actually appointed by the school district board.
Correct.
And I recall having gone before that board on a couple of occasions on a real sweaty, nervous-making interview process. I say that somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but it is important to note that the school board does have that appointing authority.
They do, most definitely.
And I know that we're constantly looking for ways that we can better interact with the school district and serve its students, as well as the general populace.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the Chester County Library system itself, which is, as I understand it, county-specific.
It is. It's for the Chester County, so it's the Chester County Library System. It's a federated system, and there are 18 libraries that make up that system.
And what does that mean, federated?
We all have our own boards. So we work together as a system, but then we have to go back and report to our own boards. So any policies that come out, we have to make sure that our board approves those policies in order to make the system unified in that way. We share resources, but we all have our own budgets. We all have our own accounting, audited differently. Our funding sources are all varied. So we're all basically individual libraries that come together to share resources.
And I think it's important to note the library, our Phoenixville Public Library, even though it's a nonprofit, it is a $1 million budget organization, which is a substantial number, in my opinion. Now, obviously, there are a lot of operational issues that consume that, but it is a substantial number, as I said.
It is. It's outside of Exton and Hankin, which are the main libraries. Exton is actually the district center. We're the third highest as far as our budget goes.
Wow.
So out of the 18 libraries, we're pretty high up there as far as what we need to generate in order to operate and run on a day-to-day basis.
Now, how about circulation? Where are we in relation to the other member libraries in terms of materials circulated?
Much the same with our budget. We're the third highest.
Out of 18?
Out of 18.
Wow.
So, outside of Exton, which no one can touch because they're such a huge library,
Sure.
and their resources are a lot more extensive than ours. So outside of the district center in Hankin, we're the third busiest library in the system. And we have been for many years. It seems to be our trend. But like that being said, the library sizes vary so drastically from one end of the county to the other that sometimes it's hard to compare us to each other just because we're so different.
Sure. Can you talk a little bit about support, if any, that the library system itself may provide to the Phoenixville Library?
Oh, they provide a lot of support. In order to get our materials from one library to the other, they provide the van service. So we get delivery every day that we're open. They also provide PR support, printing materials if we need it. There's also a director of the system. So he helps all the other directors in different things if we have questions or something comes up that we're not aware of or haven't seen before. We also have a district consultant who actually helps us with all the district and state items that come through that we have to follow. There's also support staff that they have there for us, technical services. We receive all of our internet through them, our Wi-Fi. We loan a lot of our computers through them. It's sort of a lease program. A lot of the e-resources are actually provided by the district center or the Chester County Library itself because they have more resources.
Can you talk a little bit about e-resources? I'm not
Sure.
sure I understand exactly what you mean.
Sure. We have a variety of e-resources. Some are e-books. So it's just a traditional book except it's in an electronic format. We also have e-audio, very similar to a book on CD, but you can download it in various different formats, either to a phone or really anything, your computer, your laptop, a reader if you have one. And we also have a variety of databases. So some of the databases we get through the state, others the system or individual libraries pay for. And all those are available if you have a library card.
Wow. I don't know that I realized that. I think that a lot of folks still think of the library as a place where you go to check out books and maybe read periodicals, and you have to be quiet,
Right.
and the little librarian is going to, have it out for you, so to speak. But I don't think that's really reflective of today's library.
I would say no. Our library is pretty much anything but quiet. Especially in the
goes.
children's area.
Yeah.
We do try and keep it a little bit more quiet on the upper level so that people who are studying or in there working, telecommuting, whatever it is, can concentrate. But downstairs, being quiet isn't really needed. We encourage the kids to use their indoor voices, but to have fun and really enjoy the space that they're in. We have different games and different stations that they can play at. We have learning computers for them, early literacy computers, and they just think they're having fun and just playing, but really they're learning how to do different things. It runs the gamut from learning skills, letters, numbers, science, math, so it really hits a lot of different areas for them. And we have a lot of people coming to gather for various reasons. They want to come and learn how to do something. They're coming to the library. We have teens that come in after school. It's a safe place for them. And they're anything but quiet. It gets a little rambunctious, but we enjoy it.
Sure.
You need to have people know that they can come in and be themselves, and if they want to get resources, they can. If they want to use the computers, they can. So we have pretty much anything you can think of for different people. So
Now, as I said earlier, when I introduced you, you are the executive director, but
Yes.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, and I think it's important to mention, that there are various other directors within the library
Yes.
because of the number of services that we provide.
most definitely.
And you talked about teens. I know there is a young adult center and the children's area downstairs.
Yes.
And there are a number of other services that we provide that we certainly will talk about. The other concept that I want to mention that we talk a lot about at our board meetings is the community center concept.
Right.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, basically, we want people to realize that the library, as it's known for its traditional resources, is still there. That really hasn't changed that much, but we're adding, newer resources. We want to keep up with the times. And that being said, we are a community center. We're a community space. We're a safe space for everyone in the community. So that really means people can come and gather, which they do. We have a lot of tutors and whatnot that come in after school. We have ESL that come in. People just want to come in out of the cold for a few hours, can come in, hook into the Wi-Fi. We used to, I think we still do. We have a group that comes in and they play together. They jam.
Oh yeah, we have.
It's
Yeah.
a
Musical
musical
instruments?
Exactly, and they come in about once a month, and they use our space for that. It's really anything you can think of.
And there's also third parties, professionals and the
Correct.
like that come in and give presentations that
Yes.
would be of interest to the users of library service.
All the time. A lot for adult services. We'll have music groups come in, where specific lecturers come in to talk about various subjects. It's quite fun. I believe we have owls coming to the library
Owls
soon.
are coming. I think this weekend.
Yeah,
Wow.
for children. So that's really exciting. You get
Sure.
to come and explore and learn, and then you get to see an owl who, that doesn't happen very often.
I would not think of a library having owls inside, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
So it's exciting.
That's great. Well, I think we're ready for a commercial break at this point, so we'll see you on the other side. And again, this is Legal Talk, the talk show brought to you by the law firm of O'Donnell, Weiss & Mattei.
For over 50 years now, O'Donnell, Weiss & Mattei have helped their clients resolve a wide variety of legal challenges. OWM Law provides legal representation to clients throughout southeastern Pennsylvania. The attorneys and highly trained support staff utilize the latest technology and resources available to satisfy the needs of their clients. O'Donnell, Weiss & Mattei, delivering the highest level of professional service.
Welcome back to Legal Talk, the talk show brought to you by the law firm of O'Donnell, Weiss & Mattei. We have offices in Pottstown and Phoenixville, and you can find us on the web at owmlaw.com. Tonight we're continuing our series on nonprofit and community organizations. Tonight's organization being featured is the Phoenixville Public Library. Again, I'm joined by Lara Lorenzi, Executive Director, and Lauren Coy, Director of Development. And Lauren, I promise we'll give you some time to talk in a minute.
It's okay. You know how to do it.
Thank you both for joining me
Sure.
again.
Thank you.
At the beginning of the program, and just before the commercial break, we started to talk about the changing nature of the library and clarifying perhaps some folks' misperception about what the library is these days. I want to talk a little bit about two particular services that we offer that folks may not be aware of. The first of which is passport renewals. I don't think that people typically think of the library as a place where they can go to, is it renew or actually apply?
It's actually apply for a passport.
Apply for a passport.
Adults.
And I should know because
You
I
should
actually
know.
got my passport at the library. But that was a couple of years
That's
ago, but I
good.
did, absolutely. So,
Right. So what it is we provide passport services. We have 2 dedicated passport agents, and as well as a few other staff members who can also process the passports. So for adults, it's for new passports.
New passport.
And if it's been expired for, I don't know the exact date, but it has to be expired for a long time.
Okay.
As far as renewals go, people can really do those on their own. For
Okay.
adults, it's really a one-page form, and there's nothing for our agents to really process. So we don't really handle those too often. As far as children goes, that's a different story because you have to provide all the paperwork over and over again until they reach a certain age.
Okay.
So we provide those services every week. It's by appointment only.
By appointment.
Correct.
Okay.
And currently we're in our busy season. Once the new year starts for some reason,
Oh, yeah.
that's our busy
People want to go to the
season.
Caribbean and not
Right,
at one
exactly.
place,
They're
right?
sick of winter and they want to leave. So if you're planning on doing that, just make sure that you call. Right now we're booking appointments about 2 to 3 weeks out.
Okay.
So people need to keep that in mind, especially after the new year when they're planning on doing that. There are expedited services, but you need to still make sure that you have enough time to get it processed.
Okay.
And all the fees and all that are online, so people can find that there at the state website. And we also process pictures. So it's sort of a
You take
one-stop
pictures.
shop.
Yeah.
We take pictures, we process the application, we handle all the fees, and we mail it in.
I recall being impressed with the professionalism of the representative that I dealt with, for sure. And we had no problems, although, and this was really on me, I did not request expedited services, and it was a real nail biter at the end. I think they came the day or perhaps 2 days before we were set to leave.
Wow.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you know it could take 4 to 6 weeks to process.
4 to 6 weeks.
Sometimes it happens quicker than that.
Sometimes it's
But
6 to 8 too.
We can't guarantee anything sooner than 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay,
But expedited service, I believe, is a week or 2.
Yeah.
gotcha.
It does cost more, so
costs
there's
more,
a
of
fee
course.
with that because you're rushing the order. But every year we get inspected by the state, and we've always so far received excellent ratings. We've always
Great.
passed, and it's something that we actively maintain. We send our passport agents to training every year to make sure they're up on everything that they need to have to process everything perfectly. People come in with various different needs or issues, and we need to make sure that we can handle it when they come the first time.
Sure.
So,
The other item that I wanted to talk about are the so-called hotspots. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
sure, the hotspots, they're mobile devices that provide wireless internet basically wherever there's service on them. So we go through, what was it, T-Mobile?
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile,
correct.
yeah.
And basically you can use them anywhere. So we rent them out.
So they provide an internet connection.
They do, and a very strong internet connection, actually. You can hook up to 10 devices. We suggest no more than 10,
Okay.
because then the signal gets a little weak, gets
Okay.
a little slower. But it really is, it's a very quick service. It's fast speed, and you can use it in your car. I've actually
Yeah.
used it in my car for road trips. I have 2 small kids, so it really helped, sadly, connect them to a TV show that they wanted to watch. It was a lifesaver. People also check them out either to go travel somewhere where they know the internet connection isn't going to be great, or they don't want to pay for that service fee.
Sure.
They can just get the hotspot for us for $2 a day. and
$2 a day.
$2 a day.
Wow.
And it's unlimited minutes, so
Okay.
you can't run out of minutes.
Wow.
And we rent them out for a week or 2 weeks at a time. You can reserve them.
Okay.
And, sometimes people just pick them up to make sure if they have a work appointment and their internet at home is spotty, or, they have a phone interview. They want to make sure that internet connection is secure. It's a good, solid internet connection. And so they'll pick up a hotspot and use it for that.
Great. One last thing I want to talk about in terms of serving the customer or the client, and that is the upcoming remodel. All right? When I say upcoming, we're planning it.
We are. We're planning. It's a little ways off right now,
Okay?
but we're looking into sort of a redesign of the upper level to make it a little bit more usable for our patrons,
Okay.
and make it a little bit more usable for our staff as well.
Sure.
We have a lot of performances on the upper level. Being able to move that furniture a little bit more easily to get more people in, to seat them comfortably, is another area that we're thinking of doing. We want to create a new meeting room space, and moving the computers out of the computer lab. We're thinking of redesigning the upper. There's a section over there as well next to the computer room, so we can have our digital media lab and have computers accessible through there, as well as some of our more popular items, and really bringing in more usable space for patrons. We want to create sort of a more quiet space out in the main library
Okay.
area, also known as the Carnegie Room.
Right?
And
For good reason.
exactly. And shifting some of that furniture around. So it's more of a redesign
Gotcha.
and being able to make sure that we're ADA compliant and that people have enough room. And we want to make sure that the tables that people are using are more accessible, so that when you bring in your own laptop or you use it or borrow a laptop from us, you just plug it into the table and be done. You're not searching around on the floor. We want to make it easy use. You know, we want to make sure that when people come in, they can just do what they need to do and not have to search around.
It really is amazing how the library continues to evolve and strive to meet its customers' needs. It's anything but static, in my opinion.
We're always looking for ways in which we can reach people and what they need. Sometimes libraries are known as being behind the curve, and we're really striving not to be behind the curve. We really want to be ahead and,
Sure.
and matching the needs as they're happening, so that we're not behind. That's something that we really strive to do, understanding that we have budget concerns
Sure.
and different things like that. Sometimes it's not feasible for us to do it right away, but we really do strive to do that, which is why we're bringing e-materials. We have the hot spots. Wi-Fi is a big deal. We have free Wi-Fi.
Yep.
You know, we're really trying to keep up with those,
Sure.
technological advances that are happening and continue to happen.
Yep. So as you said, an organization needs funding to run. And we talked a little bit about the school district being our major funder, but by no means does the story end there, so to speak. So Lauren, obviously this is the prompt for me to talk about you as our Director of Development.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about some of the fundraising and other sources that you head up in terms of raising funds for the library.
Sure. So it's really in two facets. It's events, which I'll get to in a second and break that down. But then it's also through grant writing.
Sure.
However, grants have become harder to get as the time has gone over.
I think there are a lot more organizations looking for the same and perhaps smaller
It's all vying
dollars.
for the same pool of money, and
Yeah.
unfortunately that pool isn't always as large as it once was. And also organizations that used to give out grants for broad things are now more narrow in where they're going to give their dollars as the years go by. But it is an exhausting but important process to go through, just to see what is eligible and what is available. But that can't be the only way to raise money, so
Sure.
that's where the events portion comes in.
Well, and before you move on, I
Okay,
just want to say
sure.
that I know that grant writing is a very specific skill set, and as you just said, you write for grants, so
Right.
I know that the library is thankful
Oh,
for
thanks,
that.
thanks.
Sure. Events.
Events, sorry. So a novel lunch is our spring event that we have, and it is held every April
Yep.
at the Columbia Station. This will be the third year. Our author this year is Lisa C. She wrote The Tea-Girl on Hummingbird Lane.
She's a first-time author. I
No.
believe. No?
No, very acclaimed author.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Kathleen Barber, we had for Wyman Wisdom, was a first-time author.
That's what I'm thinking of.
And her book that we had for Wine with Wisdom in 2017 is now being optioned for a film by Reese Witherspoon. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, we'll talk about Wine, Wit, and Wisdom a little more
Yes.
in a second. Back to a novel.
So
lunch.
a novel lunch is held Thursday, April 12th this year from noon to 2. The Columbia Station. Lisa C. will be the guest speaker this year. And that includes a lunch and an autograph book and her conversation. And it's a really nice afternoon.
And what do you expect the attendance to be?
It's usually around 75 to 100.
So that's somewhat of an intimate audience, I
It's
guess
an
you could
intimate
say.
audience, and I think it's actually really lovely for the attendees because they do get to ask questions at the end, and they do really get to be engaged instead of just being one of hundreds in a crowd and not having that personal connection.
Sure.
And it gives the attendees a little more face-to-face time with the author. And then the proceeds of this event benefit the Phoenixville Public Library Foundation.
The foundation.
Yes.
Okay.
Then we have Wine with Wisdom, which is held Thursday. This year it'll be Thursday, November 8th, 2018 at Rivercrest Golf Club. It's the 15th year of
Wow.
this event. So I'm
It's
hoping
a
to
mature
make
event at this point.
it
I
is a
guess.
mature event. I'm hoping to make it grand.
Okay.
The author obviously has not been announced yet, but
Right.
I'm aiming for the.
Stay tuned.
I'm going all out with my solicitations of who I would like.
Of course.
But Wine with Wisdom is really a lovely event.
Is it fair to say it's our signature fundraiser?
It's definitely the signature fundraiser. It's the largest fundraiser the library hosts for an evening. And it really is a really great event. It's a sit-down dinner, a wine tasting, silent auction, and a great speaker. I mean, we've had Brad Meltzer, Kathleen Barber, who I mentioned, Lisa Scottolini,
Yep.
Eileen Spinelli. We've had great authors come through, and
Yep.
I have a feeling it'll continue that way.
I do as well.
Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and then we're hoping to have another event in September, but that's
Fingers crossed.
to be determined. But it'll be great, regardless of what it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident.
I will drop a hint or two.
Sure,
It's in
go ahead.
September.
It's in
and
September.
Phoenixville is sort of a beer town these days.
I would say yes.
I think there are 5, last time I counted, breweries in town. So put September and beer together, and perhaps our audience
Maybe
can
they can guess it.
guess at what this event
Yeah.
may be. And we're hopeful that that'll come to
Oh, I'm pretty
fruition.
sure it will, for sure.
Very good. Great. Is there anything else you want to add about fundraising?
I think people forget that we are a nonprofit, and we do seek donations
Sure.
twice a year through a mailing campaign. And I know some people think, well, how can my $25 help or how can my $50 help? But they really do matter, and those gifts continually really do add up and are integral for the fundraising that I do each year for the library.
Sure. Every dollar counts.
It really does. It's not just something I'm saying as a fundraiser. It really does. Those $50 gifts that come in at the end of the year and the $25, especially of new donors, is a huge deal for us, and it's very integral in our growth. We don't expect every check to be, $10,000.
Sure.
But those monies do really add up, so I want people to know that their dollars really do matter.
That's great. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you both. We're out of time. And again, this is Legal Talk, the talk show brought to you by the law firm of O'Donnell, Weiss & Mattei. Tonight we were fortunate enough to feature the Phoenixville Public Library and its Executive Director and Director of Development as our guests. One last time, you can find us on the web at owmlaw.com. Thank you.